Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to the August edition, 2020, of my Psychic Hour. Always free and always bundles of fun for both me and you. So welcome, and we're just going to have a wonderful time this evening. I have a little bit of housekeeping, i.e. discussion of things I have coming up that I have actually here on the screen so you can see them. And I want to go over them with you, and also our general broad rules for getting readings tonight from me. And then we're going to jump right in. And we've got, I can tell, we've got a lot of people in our call this evening. I have a feeling this is going to be a call that really jumps. So get ready. There's a lot of energy here this evening. First off, I'm going to kind of start and work my way around. Folks, if you did not yet download my app, please do. Everything that is in your library, if you've ever purchased classes from me, and also my newsletter will jump right up on the app. All you've got to do is touch it on your phone or your whatever smart device you have. It just makes accessing everything on my website so much easier, and it's very functional. It works really well, and a lot of people who have, upon occasion, had issues trying to find things in the website could find them like that on the app. So, if you're one of those people who likes things to be at your fingertips, like I am, please download the app, get it on your phone or your tablet, and make life a little bit easier. You'll even find out about these psychic hours, and if you also download GoToMeeting on your smart device, you'll even be able to attend these live-time, real-time psychic hours right from GoToMeeting on your app on your cell phone. So this is really a real convenient way of delivering electronic information via the web to you. So I also have an announcement. I'm offering some specials this month, as you know I always do. You find that out from my newsletter if you're on my mailing list. And one of those specials is that I am going to be offering my Tarot Readers Beginner Level course. Now, this is not the course that you find in the VIP section of my website. This is the course that is actually one of my premier classes that you'll see right on the front of my website. It's on video. You can see me. You can see the cards, the layouts. You get everything downloadable. It's a 6-lesson class. It gets my book. If you are interested in learning to read the tarot cards, you have the Tarot Readers Workbook right along with it. And it's a really, really good foundation for reading cards. Now, I'm discounting it for the month of August, 20% off, which brings it almost $60 below what its regular price would be if it's not on special. But that's not only the very special thing that you get with it. During August, when I offer the special on my tarot, which I do a couple of times a year, when I offer that special, I'm also offering my own services. All during the month of August, I'll be monitoring the special Facebook group that you belong to, so you'll be able to ask me questions through the Facebook group or the tarot course itself. And you'll have, basically, that gives you direct access to me during that 1 month that you have to go over the class or to purchase the class. The whole time that you're taking it, you'll be able to approach me with questions on it. And of course, you can always ask me questions on tarot if you're learning to read it right here on the Psychic Hour too. I love tarot and I love to talk about it. I'd love to answer your questions about how it works, or at least the way I teach it, how it works. So if that's something you've been interested in learning, and if you've been interested in learning it with me, there's no better time to take that class than right now. It is an online home study class that's full video. So you can even watch it on your television if your television is internet capable. It's a really cool way to study. I also want to make mention, I know a lot of you here, as I was looking down at your names, there are quite a few of you here who are taking my Kabbalah Pathworking right now. But those of you who aren't taking it, it did start already on July 8th, so you've missed not quite the first month of the class. If you want to start now, this is really the last week that you'd be able to join, where you still have enough time to make up what you've lost and catch up to us. So if you've heard all these good, wonderful things about it that everybody is saying, and you want to get in on it, you want to change your life and transform your personal world and universe, and really really get on top right now in 2020 of all of the challenges that are facing you, I would recommend that you join it this week, because at the end of this week we're going to be cutting off people who would be able to join in. Okay, you'd be just too far behind to be able to do that. Okay, also please make a note. If you enjoy the Psychic Hour and you want to be here for all of them, get it on your calendar. Join through my website. You'll see the link. Just click on it and put your name in, because I can only take up to 100 people on this platform that I'm using. And once we get over 100, you're not going to be able to get in. So get your name on the list. And also, I noticed a lot of you are already aware, try to get here at least 5-10 minutes early when I have the session, and that way you make sure that you're actually here with me when I'm doing the Psychic Hour. The next one, as you can see, is September 6th, 2020, so get it on your calendar and also sign up for it. Now, going over to here, looking at the VIPs, you'll see right over here, follow my cursor on the left side of the screen, your next Q&A. If you are a VIP, you have over 100 classes in my VIP area that are all on audio. So they're downloadable MP3s that are in your own library that you can listen to, and you can listen to them right through the app if you have it. So those of you who are already VIPs, if you joined when the IP or the VIP was $97, or pardon me, $197 a year, I'm running a special on it. It is now $97 a year. I don't know how long that special will run. I'm doing that because I know everybody's tight right now and you still want to study. So I'm making how to study metaphysics as inexpensive and also as easy for you as possible. I know I've always been a fan, always loved everything in metaphysics, and I want you folks to be able to learn and love the learning of it just as I always have. So if you're an existing VIP and you had joined at the higher price, which is $197 a year or $20 a month, and you want to discount it, go into your VIP, cancel the membership, and then rejoin and go in through the VIP page, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll find this price, $97 a year or $10 a month. Now, if you've never been a VIP and you want to join, go ahead and go straight to the VIP page, go all the way down to the bottom of the page and join at this half price, really severely discounted price, okay? You're going to love it. You'll be very grateful that you did. Now, those of you who are VIP members, our next Q&A together, where I answer questions on all those classes you're taking, is going to be August 20th. So I'm looking forward to speaking with you that evening. Now, this month, folks, I do obviously do private readings too. My reading special this month is going to be exploring your finances through the next 3 months. And obviously, me and my guides are going to be helping you get a handle on them by working with your astrology chart, which really gives lots and lots of in-depth information about everything that's going on in your life. But we're going to focus on the finances, which seems to be based on what this group was discussing with me last month during the Psychic Hour, one of the major things that are on your mind these days. So not surprising, I think it's on most people's minds, what's going on with our finances during this whole pandemic shutdown that the world is experiencing. So find out how that's going to be affecting you specifically, what's going on financially in your life, how to ride the crest of the wave instead of being in the trough of the wave when we come out of this. And last but not least, I always want to mention that we are still planning our psychic cruise for next year. Of course, we had to cancel it last spring because of the pandemic, and we are planning on being out of the pandemic, being out of this financial crunch so many people are experiencing, being out of this political havoc and chaos that's going on all over the world, and being in this wonderful sailing vessel with a bunch of psychics visiting Rose Hall in Jamaica and just having wonderful fun doing lots of meditation, having lots of deep discussions about everything you can possibly imagine in metaphysics and in our lives, and traveling together on the open seas. It's a wonderful time that we have when we go on these cruises, and I'm so looking forward to the one we're holding in 2021, because I don't know about you, but by then I'm really going to need it. Okay. Now, to get in with my group, because we have a private group, you do need to make your booking through Pat Frank. It is on Royal Caribbean, which is a great cruise line. They offer lots of specials. So if you get specials on your own from Royal Caribbean and you say, wow, this is great, I want to get in on that, don't book directly, because you won't be in my group if you do that. Instead, call Pat Frank, remind her there's this special going on, and have her work to get you into the group with that special. Okay? So now you have everything I've got to talk to you about with housekeeping. Let me just check in with Lisa. Have I forgotten anything, Lisa, or have I covered all the things I need to cover with what's going on for us this month?
I think that you have everything.
Yeah, I'm on the ball. Full.
Yes, you are.
Almost. She had to update me on the VIP. I was putting us into September there at the beginning, but we've got that date right now. Okay. Now, as far as tonight's concerned, I see a lot of new names. So this is just a reminder for the people who are with me every month, and I welcome you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for following me and still being here with me this evening. But for the new people, I want you to know that I want everyone here to be able to ask their question. So first and foremost, I'm going to answer as many of them as I can this evening, but my guides kind of have control over this. Some people they spend longer, some people they spend shorter. I will not be able to get to everyone. Those of you who don't get to ask your question, number one, please pay attention to everything that's being discussed, because my guides have a way of giving you answers to things that are going on in your life while they're answering someone else's question. They have a way of being able to hit many, many people at the same time. So pay attention. That's number one. Number two, if you email me, and you can email it either to Lisa, sainc@aol.com, that's Lisa's email, or you can email it to the email that's right here on this program, and that is going to land in my inbox. So either way, I'm going to get that email, and if you ask me one simple question, I will promise to answer it. Now, it may not be within the next couple of days. It may be a week. It might even be 2 weeks before I get to it. It depends on how many people really send me their questions, because they do take time to answer. But I will answer that question. So if you're here with me until the end and you didn't get your question asked by me or answered by me this evening, feel free to email me that question and you'll get your answer. Okay, that's number one. Number two, asking your question. Most of you are fine with raising your hand, but if you're shy or if for some reason your audio is not working this evening, you can put your question into the chat room. And if Lisa feels that question is something which really will address the whole group, she's very likely to read that question out for you. Okay, so if you have a question that really you think is going to be good for everybody, go ahead and write it into that chat room. You'll get that question read. If you have a more personal question, then I suggest you raise your hand, okay? And Lisa's going to call on you. When she sees that hand raised, she usually tries to call on people that either they're brand new to the psychic hour, or they have not been called on for a very long time, or have also put their question into the chat room and she knows it's of particularly vital nature, okay? So make sure you handle asking your question right. And here's what I want to know when you get called on. And also, by the way, if you send me your question in email form, please include this information too. And that question has to reach me, remember, by tomorrow night at 9 p.m. is my cutoff. Questions after that I won't be answering. So here's what I want to know. I want to know where you're calling from and your first name only. I would like to know what you're most grateful for in your life right now. I'd like to know your sun sign, because you see, with your sun sign, I can give my guides will give me information that actually will be helpful, not just to you, but to the whole group. And I'm also then going to ask your personal specific question that's really just for you. Okay? And mind you, even those questions that are just for you, when my guides answer them, they're not going to be just for you. My guides are going to answer them in a way that addresses everyone. Just wait and see. It's loads of fun. Now, you should be feeling them coming in right now because, boy, oh boy, did they just come in with a vengeance. And I think we're going to have a really dynamic session this evening. Lisa, who's our first caller?
All right, our first person tonight is going to be Joan. Joan, can you unmute your mic?
Yes, I'm unmuted.
Hello, Joan. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, welcome.
So, since you're the icebreaker, I'll kind of help you along a little bit. First, Joan, where are you calling from?
Virginia.
Wow. I love my beloved sister, who's passed now, lived in Virginia most of her life. She moved there right after she was married. So I know it fairly well, not real well, but fairly well, love it very well. Beautiful state. And what are you most grateful for in your life right now?
My family.
Aha, okay. And what's your sun sign?
Aquarius.
Okay. Let's take a look at where you are in this horary chart. That's what we call this chart I put on the screen for you. Okay, we find Aquarius
Okay.
right over here. Look at my cursor. We find Aquarius right over here on this horizontal line on the left. We call that the ascendant. Okay. Now you'll notice it's 20 degrees, right? You're only 30 degrees
Right.
from the sign astrologically. So there's only 4 degrees of Aquarius in this first house, which is about you. The other 26 degrees are in this 12th house, which is all the things you're worried about, all the things that you're thinking about other people, all the turmoil in your life, all the worries. Okay, so guess what, folks? If you are an Aquarius like Joan, you know, this is what's going on. There's this tiny little bit of you that's poking itself out into the world and saying, can I come out now? Okay. And if I do, I want to be counted, I want to be seen. But the rest of you is really back here dealing with a whole lot of real deep issues having to do with you, because this is the moon in Aquarius in the 12th house. And these other 2 planets are in Capricorn, that's Saturn and Pluto. And even though they're not in Aquarius, they're so close to that moon that it's almost like they're being pulled into Aquarius. So guess what, Joan? You're worried about your family. You know, 12th house is lots of fears and worries. You're worried about your family. You're worried about their financial ability. You're worried about their businesses. You're worried about their careers. You're worried about the kids. Are they going to get to go back to school? Are they going to get to become who they really should become? You're worried about what you can do to help them when they don't want to be helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you getting all this? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you know, what's up here in the 12th house is all about your worries. It's your fears. It's your concerns. It's not really real, is it?
No, not particularly.
Okay. And what's really interesting is that when we have all this stuff going on in our subconscious mind, our brains just go, they just, you know, get out of control. Which is one of the reasons why only this teeny little 4 degrees is poking its way across the ascendant, because you know that everybody's going to get on you if you start telling them all the things you're worried about. So you're keeping it under wraps. You're not really talking, at least not to everybody, about all the things that are on your mind. Now, this house and everything in it is a direct opposition to everything that's happening across the chart, which in the case of the 12th house is very important, because when things get locked up in your subconscious, they kind of squirt out like toothpaste out of a tube into your house of everyday affairs, which is where the sun is in Leo. And so you're going to be working your fingers to the bone in whatever it is you're doing, whether you're at home, whether you're out, you know, working from home, whether you're a first responder and working out there in the world, or a vital job. you're working. Why? Because you can't do all the helping of all the people you love that you really want to be doing. How am I doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're an Aquarius or one of the other three fixed signs, a Leo, a Scorpio, or a Taurus, folks, you're experiencing feelings and emotions very much like Joan is feeling. Okay. If you're a Taurus, you are, however, talking about it. If you're a Leo, you're taking action. You're out there fixing everything, or trying to. And if you're a Scorpio, you are writing about it. You're telling people, but over the internet, over the web, and you're researching and you're educating, and i.e. But if you're a fixed sign, you're addressing all these issues because it's not so much you who are important to you. It's everybody around you that you're caring so deeply about, that you're trying to make a difference with. Okay? So, Joan, what is your specific question?
My father passed about 5 years ago, and I was wondering if he had anything to say.
Ah, okay. Now I want to point something else out because this is kind of cute. Watch my cursor. We have the 12th house, which is your unconscious mind, which connects with spirit very well, especially through your dream life. Opposing that, and that's Aquarius. Opposing that, we have Sun in Leo, which is the everyday world, out in the world. We want to bring Dad out into the open. Sun represents Dad. Squaring that, right angles, we have Uranus. I wonder if his death was kind of sudden. We have Uranus. And when we have this right angle square like this, we call that a T.
Mm-hmm.
In astrology, see the T, the opposites, and then this piece goes straight across. Whenever you have a grand cross that's missing planets in one of the signs, i.e. no planets in Scorpio, you have a T-square. And when you have a T-square, the energy comes out into the empty sign. So the energy for you right now, all of your fixed signs, is coming out into Scorpio, which could be looked at because of where it is in the chart as researching, or in your case, talking to the dead, because isn't that the sign Scorpio rules talking to the dead? So here's Joan's question. Does my father have anything to say? I love it. It even shows up in the astrology class. I do love astrology. Absolutely love it. And it's for this reason that we can see it, especially in these far-reach charts, which are really one-night throwaway charts. Everybody who's here tonight, this chart speaks to you for the next 2 hours. That's how that works. Okay, let's see what your dad has to say. It looks like there's, I don't know if it's a celebration missed, that he missed a marriage maybe, or he missed something where you really wanted him to be there, but he couldn't be there. And it might have even been that something special got missed this year, that he's telling you, look, don't worry about it. It is what it is. I know you wanted it to be so special. And sometimes he knew you well, didn't he? Sometimes you have to learn to let go of things, to let them simply be what they are. And this is getting kind of a little personal. When you really love and care about someone, you want everything in their world to come out personal, to come out very special and perfect. And therefore, you feel like you need to control it to make sure it comes out perfect. And he's saying that you really need to let go of the control on that one because it's driving you crazy that you couldn't make it perfect. Okay? There's Dad's.
Okay.
So you got a double message, like one that he feels sorry that you missed what you really didn't want to miss and didn't want them to miss. But also the message is you got to let go of the control, because if right now, if you don't let go of that control, it's going to end up making you sick. Okay? There's your message.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
And thank you for that great question. And Lisa, who is next on the list?
Our next person is going to be Deb. Deb, can you unmute there you go.
Hi,
Hi, Deb.
I'm Deb. I'm from the California Sierra Mountains. And right now I'm really grateful for our town and family working all together in unity. We have a lot of fires going on right now. Even our interstate is completely shut down both sides.
Deb,
Um,
I have a question for you on that. Being as you're out there, right in the thick of things, so to speak. I was reading online, so this is only hearsay, it's not anything that's necessarily true, but I was reading that the major fires out there in California, there are like 3 of them going on, and I was reading that they're all along the San Andreas fault line. Here's my question to you. Is that true?
I honestly don't know up here in the Nevada mountains or the San Andreas, but I do know it runs up here, and it could be true.
Okay.
I know my daughter just lost her whole neighborhood, but we haven't found out why that fire started. Most of them are lightning, and we haven't had lightning today, and we had 3 of them start, and they're, I mean, rather big, 1,500 acres plus.
Wow. Wow. Well, let's keep our ear to the ground on this one, and if you can, I'm not loading this on you because I know you've really got your hands are filled out there. But if you hear something about this, put it on Facebook. Let us know. Type it into the Psychic Hour, and we'll get it out to everybody. Because when I read that, that concerned me. Okay, and let me tell you the reason why it concerned me. Many years ago, I did a reading. I don't know if you remember her, but Shelley Peck was a very well known psychic medium, and
Yeah.
she passed now. And I did a reading for her that was the most wonderful reading I think I've ever done, because not because she was such a great medium, but because most people don't know this about Shelley, but Shelley saw earth changes. And she saw earth changes literally like a panorama. It was like watching a television screen. She was very visual. And here I am, I'm in the middle of doing a reading for her, and all of a sudden I'm watching earth changes happen all over the planet. It was like, oh my God, it was literally being in a 360-degree theater. And one of the earth changes, I said to her, in fact, Shelley, why don't you do this? Why haven't you written books? And she said, oh, that's nothing. That's I've always done that. That's not mediumship. She wanted to be a medium. But one of the things that I saw at that time, which, remember, Shelley, please remember this, Shelley gave me no timeline. So I could have been looking at something that's 2,000 years from now. So I never, I looked at it and said, well, I think this will be, but I don't know when. Okay. But one of the things that I saw when I saw this panorama was the California literally separated from the rest of the country by an inland sea, and it would have been along that San Andreas fault line. Okay, so I have always paid attention to what's going on out there ever since then, because it just, hopefully enough has changed that will never happen. We pump goodwill and good vibes and love into the land, and it does change the energy of the planet. However, I did see that, and so pay attention, and if you should hear anything, put it out there so we all know about it, okay? Because
I will look it up, and it is going to happen within the next 10 years, and it's going to go straight in through Utah and all in up through Oregon, and it is going to happen within the next 10 years.
I'm Frank.
I do know that. I was following that since a child, but
Well,
I will check on the San Andreas. I do believe, because we border Nevada, that it does come up through there.
yeah, and I don't know exactly where, but it was interesting what she showed me. Which, by the way, I've never told this to a group before, folks. So you're hearing this for the first time. I've only shared this information with my friends very, in a personal way. But what she showed me was that that inland sea from all the way from like I guess it's Yosemite up there, all the way down to where the Grand Canyon is. Okay. So
Yes.
she showed it going all right that whole side of the country, and she showed the same kind of hot spots that we get in Yellowstone, where there's the sulfur and all that. She showed those hot spots being down around the Grand Canyon. So, I mean, man, talk about a huge huge change. This would change the shape of the entire world. So I'm hoping you're wrong and it's not within the next 10 years. I'm hoping that's 2,000 years from now. But it made a very big impact on me. I put it in the back.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be out of here within 10 years. And in fact, we're clearing out a lot of property, and that's all you see is Riverstone rocks. And everybody's like, well, how can that be? You're at 5,000 plus level. It's like, this used to be underwater. They don't understand that.
Yeah, it did. That was, yeah, I remember from my treks out west many years ago. I used to be very into archaeology, just loved it. And that whole Midwest area where Arches National Park is and Zion used to be a huge, like the Pacific Ocean, only in the middle of the United States. It was huge. So I don't think that's coming back. This looked more like a strip, like the country ended on the other side, just on the other side of California along the San Andreas, and then there was across the river, so to speak, is California. That's the way it looked. So let's cross our fingers and pray that, like I said, that's a lot further off. Because I was given no timeline. But when I read that article, 3 major fires along the San Andreas Fault, and they don't know what's causing them. And that was like, and then of course the person who wrote the article was conceptualizing that this could be magnet close to the surface, et cetera, et cetera. But there's no proof of any of these things unless somebody who is in the know, scientifically offers that proof. Incidentally, folks, that is really what we should all be doing with everything that we hear. Keep your ear to the ground, whether it's an earth change, whether it's political news, whether it's medical news. Keep your ear to the ground, listen to what you hear, and then go and search for scientific proof. Okay? And I'm not talking about what somebody happens to say because it's their belief. I'm talking about actual proof that's data backed. Okay? That's becoming more and more important in our world today. Okay? So, guess what? You brought all that stuff out of me by my guides. Okay?
Yeah, and I already know about it. I don't mean to scare people, but yeah.
So there's always a reason. I don't know. Maybe there are a few other people there who are also living along the San Andreas Fault who probably should be packing up and moving while they can still get good money for their houses.
Yeah.
So
I'm a Gemini.
Me too.
And my question was, I work for the school district. I was laid off due to COVID, and my job title didn't match what I was doing, but they're talking about reopening school the 24th of August. I don't know that I'll be being called back, but I did see they were calling 4 people back at a lot of hours, that I was hoping to be less hours at my title. And I'm just I have other things going on and stuff too, but I can't make it on my own without going back to school. So I just kind of wanted to throw it out there if you had any vibes or anything from your guide.
I think my guides are accurate. I think it is going to open on the 24th. Hey, that's kind of cool. I don't think you're going to be one of the people getting called back right now, which will be, I guess, good for you. I see something else, though, and I want to show you this. Before you even asked this question, as soon as I heard your voice, I pulled this card, which is a 5 of Swords. It shows a guy walking away from a battle with a sword. And what that says to me is I don't think you're going back into that particular position. But I also pulled this card, which is a Page of Swords. That's children and that's education, right? And
yes,
something. And it's right side up, so it says you're still going to stay in the educational system, and you probably are going to be going back into a different job. Get that? Okay, so keep an open mind. This is an ending. It's the other card I had pulled as soon as I heard your voice. I always pull cards as soon as the person comes on. And that says this whole thing is ending for you. So however it turns out, I do not see you going back into that position you used to be in. And I don't see you going back to those long, long hours, but I still see you in the educational system. So apparently not only does it pay the bills, but you actually enjoy it. It's something that you like when it's actually working the way it's supposed to be.
Yes, I do. I completely enjoy it. That is my purpose.
Now
I'm a
let's
nurturer, and yeah.
yeah. Now let's just take a look at Gemini. What's going on for Gemini? I'm laughing is when you said I'm a Gemini. Gemini is this sign down here at the bottom of the chart where my cursor is, and it's on the fourth house, which is the house of the home. So we were talking when you first got on about where you live and the Sierra Nevada or the Sierra Mountains and California and the San Andreas Fault. We're talking about this fourth house. Don't you love it? So we were talking all about this long before I knew what sign you were. Okay. And this is also, this is nice for all of you Geminis. You're going to be thinking about home and family. You might be thinking about moving or a second residence because this is what Gemini is all about right now, tonight, if you're on this call. And Venus and the North Node are only 3 degrees apart here. The North Node is always a place that you grow. Now, for you in particular, this is in the house of children. And so there's going to be an opportunity for you to get a job that's the job of your dreams, working with children, and it's not the one you came from. So please cast your net wider, okay? Now, this is also where this North Node is also the house of romance. So if you're the Gemini who is maybe looking for a little more romance in your life, a little more fun, okay? Maybe not romance, but just fun and enjoy. If you want to spend more time with the children, with the family, this is also on your plate right now because these two planets going from fourth house to fifth house tell you all that's there. It also is a time, because it's opposing the house of friends, it's a time for spending time with friends. That's important. And this is kind of going to be a balance for you, time with friends, time with the family, time with friends, time with the family. So there's a little seesawing going on. That's for everybody who's here, who's a Gemini or a Sag. Lots of responsibilities around you right now, okay, but nothing that you can't handle. How'd I do?
You did really well. That's exactly what's happening. All of a sudden, it's like I'm starting to spend lots of time with friends, and I've got caught up on our yard and everything, and I'm doing things for the family, just like cooking dinners and dropping them off and different things. Yeah,
Yeah.
right on.
And I think that's going to continue at least through this month of August for you. Very cool.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And Lisa, who is our next person?
All right, the next victim for tonight is Marley. Marley, can you unmute?
Do you hear me?
Yes, Marley. Good to speak.
Okay. Good evening. I would like to know, I am Aquarius, and I'm grateful for having a job because I'm a professional singer. And as you know, all the contracts have been canceled because of the pandemic. And but I've been blessed to find a job as a lifestyle director in a senior community. And I really enjoy this job. I really enjoy working with the seniors and making them happy, playing games and singing for them and have them sing everything. But in the meantime, music is my passion. And I was wondering if you have talked about Aquarius a lot. It's true that we have a lot of worries lately, but I'm thinking about, I have an album on the market that I've never really promoted. And I'm thinking about pushing on that. And I was wondering if I should do it or if I should just enjoy what I do and, I don't know which path to do.
The first thing I'm going to tell you, and this is for everybody here, no matter what the psychic or anybody else tells you, Molly, could you mute your mic?
Yeah.
Feedback. Okay. No matter what the psychic, i.e. me, or anybody else tells you, you always follow your own intuition first. Because, folks, we all have guides, all of us. Each and every person on this call has a guide. And if you get a strong gut feeling or something that, just jumps in your head and gives you that little push, that could very well be your own inner guidance saying, yes, do this. Okay? So always put your own intuition first in terms of what direction you should be moving in life. After your intuition directs you, then your brain comes in to figure out how to get there. But your intuition should be your compass point, your directional. Now, specifically for you, Marley, what my guides are saying, and like I said, please temper this with your own intuition, they're saying that whoever or whatever it is that's pushing this other thing right now probably is thinking more about themselves than you. So that doesn't really look like it's going to be this great thing that's going to work out. If you are enjoying what you're doing right now, and this is paying the bills, I would continue doing that right now because it's a good place to be. And you're making enough money for what you're doing, and it's leaving you enough freedom to be able to do some other things. So let me show you what I'm going to show you here. Remember when I talked to, I think it was Joan, the other Aquarian, yeah, and I told you about this T-square, okay? And that the T-square came out into the sign Scorpio. It's also coming out into the 9th house in astrology. The 9th house has to do with long-distance communications. It has to do with the internet. It has to do with things like YouTube. So, Marley, this might be a time for you to continue with the day job that you've got, but to maybe cut a record, or I don't know what they call them these days, cut a soundtrack that can become an MP3, get some really good recording equipment, or rent time in a recording studio, and put your individual stuff out on YouTube, okay? Take advantage of this energy that can launch you into becoming known on your own. So what my guides are basically saying is that you don't really need this other thing that looks like the person might wind you into something that benefits them but not you. And meanwhile, you can have your cake and you can eat it too if you're sharp in how you do it. Go ahead and unmute. And did that get your question?
Yeah, it's my album is already done. It's cost me $35,000, so I'm not gonna record anything else. It's part of the product. I just effectively I could promote it. It's a question of promoting that, and it's true that it's all done on internet right now.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you because of the sound quality here. It's honestly, it feels like the person that came to you and promote isn't the one to do it. You probably can do a good enough job promoting yourself and just letting people know, here's where you can get my album. Here's where you can get my album. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, that may not be the case, a year from now. But right now, it looks like the way to gain momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I was smiling with the tea that you were talking about because my boyfriend is Scorpio. So
yep.
It's the energy's getting out on him. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, and here's another suggestion, and I don't mean to cause trouble in the in the relationship, so that's not my purpose. But this is your recording. It's your life work. It should be kept under your control. Just put that in the back of your mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's
No,
what your boyfriend would.
Yep. There is nothing related with my career, music career.
Right,
at all.
right.
But thank you very much. I would appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Good luck to you. And when you do put something on YouTube, post it on my Facebook for everybody to see where it is, because we'd all love to go and listen to it. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And Lisa, who's next?
Okay, the next person I'm going to call on is Bella. Bella, you are unmuted.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
Beth.
Sam. Hello, Lisa. And I'm sorry about the dogs, because as soon as I start talking, they think I'm talking to someone. Come here in person. Or someone's at the door, but there's no one here. I promise you.
The reason I'm laughing is that, Lisa immediately muted her mic because she has a dog that would bark with your dog. And I have 4 of them right on the other side of that door who are going to start barking any minute.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we love dogs.
We do. We love dogs. So, what sign are you?
I am a Taurus,
And where are you?
and I'm calling from Australia, Queensland.
Oh, I love it there. Absolutely love it. I was only to Australia once, and darn it, I wish you guys weren't so far away because Australia feels like home. It is just a beautiful, beautiful land. So, and I love Queensland. That's my favorite part of it. So you're in the great area.
I'm in a good place.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Australia is very, very special, folks. If you haven't visited Australia, definitely you should be. Unless you're Australian and you're already there. But if you're not in Australia, you should put it on your bucket list as a place to visit. It's very special. And it's more than the kangaroos that are special, although they're really cool.
They are. They definitely are, especially when you see them out the front.
I'm going to show you this. I keep this on my desk. Can you see it?
Oh, yes. Yes, with the koala. Beautiful.
Koala. That's me and my husband visiting Australia.
That is gorgeous.
Yep. I absolutely had so much fun there. It was wonderful. So, you're a Taurus, you're from Australia, and what are you most grateful from?
I'm most grateful for life in general, because we are alive. I walk around saying to people, I'm alive. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, that is a very good point right now. And what's your question?
My question is really concerning something that I started a long time ago, and it feels like I'm being pushed again to continue and finish off what I started, which is an actual novel that I started writing.
I love it. Hang on, I've got to interrupt you just for a moment because this is another one of those moments when astrology is proving itself here.
Okay.
Taurus is part of this chart in the 3rd house. The 3rd house is about communication, teaching, writing.
Oh, wow.
And Uranus is here. Now, it doesn't show this, but I know this because I actually do private readings. Uranus is at its station right now. It's getting ready to go retrograde, which means that, and this is for all of you Tauruses, Scorpios, Aquarians, and Leos, things that you had initiated in the past that you had totally let go of, especially in the realm of communication or health and healing or travel or digging deep into subconscious issues and dreams and things like that. Those things are coming back for you to have a chance to either correct or resolve or finish up or tweak and change if you didn't like the way you finished them the first time. So all your fixed signs are getting a chance. Probably it'll be about a 4-month-long chance. You're gonna have to initiate this and write fast. Okay.
4 months. Okay, 4 months.
Yep.
Because I just wanted to mention, I do have Slavic roots. In other words, Polish to be exact.
Yep.
And so this actual novel, came down through the heavens, as I say, and it just hit me like a lightning bolt. But this was, like I said, quite a few years ago. We're talking about 3 years ago. So now you think I need to get in there, put the head down, tail up, and get into it.
If it's now, this is the thing. If it's something you really wished you had done, now's your chance. And it could very well be your last chance to have this block of time to do it.
Okay.
Okay. And now, not that you're going to die or something like that, but what
No.
happens, you see, is when Uranus goes direct again, and I'm sorry I don't have the exact date, it's between 4 and 6 months from now. When Uranus goes direct again, your focus is going to start to turn towards the future. You're going to have new ideas. You're going to be involved with something new that still might have to do with communication, but it won't be that particular book. You see? So now's your chance to get involved with that thing. So I hope everybody's paying attention to that. Old things are coming back for all of you fixed signs, especially in the realm of communications or, oh God, this could be so many things. Anything that's in writing, it could be monetary systems, it could be investing. The thing is, things are coming back that you had wanted to do in the past and didn't do, or maybe you did them, but they didn't work out quite the way you wanted. Now's your chance to resolve them, to tweak them, or to say, no, I think I left it good right the way it was, and move on. Okay?
Okay. The only thing I'm concerned about is, am I wasting my time doing this and it's never going to be, published or be out there where I really want it to be out there, because it's an important sort of download that I received back then, and it's still niggling at me, and I need to do it. I know I need to do it. I've got that passion and that drive.
Well, my guides say it certainly isn't worthless for you to do it, okay? But I can tell you, okay, and now this is for everybody who's ever published in anything, whether it's a song, the gal who wrote and published her album, or whether it's a book, or whether it's a series of articles, or whether it's a website, or whether it's a whole business. In today's world, on the one hand, because of the internet, we have the best time there has ever been in the entire world for getting our voice out there and heard. But because there are so many of us who want to be heard, it is a very difficult thing to do. And you need to find the best modality, whether you'll publish this book yourself or publish it through someone else, through a regular publisher, whether you'll market it yourself or have it marketed for you. And these are all things that are going to be part of the book process. And if you go this route and you do it, it's also, my guides are telling me, part of your own personal growth. Okay? One of the things you're needing to learn to do is to put yourself forward, because you're not very good at it, are you? But if
No, not really, no.
But if it's important enough for you to get the words out to the world, you will put yourself aside and you'll do what needs to be done to learn how to get this book published and marketed.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Lovely.
Thank you. And Lisa, I want to move a little faster now because I have just 7 minutes left for our hour. I'd like to try and fit 2 people in. So who's our next person?
Alrighty, our next person is going to be Sue. Sue, you are unmuted.
Hello, my name is Sue. I'm from California, just a mile off the coast, just outside of LA. And my sun's sign is Cancer. Very grateful for my family right now. They're all close by, and it's great.
That is wonderful. And Cancer is, of course, you probably know this, the sign of family. So it's nice that you have them close by you. Here's Cancer in the chart. It's where I'm circling my cursor. So most of the 5th house is a Cancer house. And of course, this house deals with children and closeness and having fun with everybody. And so right now should be a very, very important time for you as far as being close to everybody and being able to really develop those relationships. Now, Mercury is in Cancer here. That's this little guy. And that's in the 6th house, which is the house of health. So apparently you've got some health issues on your mind too. You might be very concerned with kids getting ready to go back to school and how things are going to work out with them health-wise. And all this opposes Jupiter and Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn. And this looks to me like you have just about had it with everybody making decisions for you, haven't you?
Well, it's so funny. Of course, that's exactly why my question. It's my health. My kids are grown, and I've had chronic illness. I stopped working 4 years ago after a 22-year career, and it was not planned. It just, my health was deteriorating. I wasn't taking care of myself. Well, it wasn't that I wasn't taking care of myself. I was, but it needed to be more. And so that's my question. Is there anything I can do to help? I'm just so tired of chronically being ill and having aches and pains and just one thing after another. The thing that's been kind of nice about the pandemic for me is I'm not going to the doctor so often. I'm really enjoying being home, and I do physical therapy via the internet, but I'm really enjoying being home and not having to go to the doctor so much. So just, it seems like every time I turn around, there's some other new health issue, whether it's my eyes, my feet, my back, my neck.
Yeah.
You know, thankfully nothing, sorry about that. Thankfully nothing, you know.
Yeah, but and I get you. It's like one thing after another. You're going to hate me for what I'm about to say.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, I think I think if you're going to get a handle on your health, you're going to have to completely and radically change your diet. Okay? And we all just love when somebody says that, because, somebody once said to me, Sandy, the things that you are most allergic to are always the things that you actually have yearnings for. I don't know what it is, but it's really true. I suspect that you have more food allergies than you can shake a stick at, and that they find their way into your joints and your skin and your eyes and your. So, if you really, really got down into searching out the allergies and then changing your whole diet, you would obviously have to change your life, but you'd feel better. So,
yeah, I thought I was diagnosed with celiac, even though I've been gluten-free for 15 years. I was tested 3 other times before. They finally get a handle on it, and I am completely gluten-free, but yet I didn't have the knowledge of cross-contamination.
Yeah.
So I already live a fanatical food life.
Yeah.
And now in the pandemic, it actually is easier because it's 100% under my control of what I put in my mouth. But I'm still at a loss.
Your big thing is sugar.
Really?
Yeah. And you may think that you don't get it because you're so careful of it, and you're getting it in flour, you're getting it in vegetables, there's a book. Let me see if I can remember it. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the book offhand, but it really goes into how sugar in the diet promotes candida. It might be the Candida cookbook. That's what comes to mind, but I'm not sure if that's the one. The thing is that you're going to be absolutely amazed when you find out the things that sugar does to you when it's in your body. And so you probably have a gluten allergy. I have no doubt you do, but you also have a real problem with candida. And literally, for you, sugar is toxic, and you're getting it in so many different ways. Almost everything you eat is getting sugar. So, you can't eliminate it from your diet entirely because your body's fuel factory is sugar. See, but you have to eliminate it in all of its refined forms. And I think that book said don't eat anything that has more than 10 carbs in it, because carbohydrates are like one-step digestion to sugar. You see, then we need them to live, we need them for energy, but you have to be really restrictive on what kinds of carbs you put in there, because if it's too easy to digest in your system, it's going to convert to candida. And that is what my guides are saying, is that that's creating the atmosphere in your body for all of these other illnesses to come out and become a problem. If you didn't have the candida as the foundation, all these other things would either disappear or be very easily controllable.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I think you can get a handle on it. But it's going to be with the right. You're going to find the right doctor who understands. The medical system still, they tout it and they give all these fancy diets, but they still don't really understand this stuff. A dietitian would understand it better.
Yeah, I have a new one because I was diagnosed with the celiac, so they were working with me some.
I think bring up the whole issue of sugar and find out and let them check what you want, because you might be with the right people finally. I hope so. Got my fingers crossed for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Lisa, let's take our last caller now.
All righty. The last victim of the evening is going to be Angela.
Hey there, Angela.
Angela, you're self-muted. There you go.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm Angela. I'm from the Tampa, Florida area, and my son's sign is Aquarius, and I'm most thankful for my sons. Don't really have a specific question in mind, just more of what it is my guides were wanting me to know.
Well, and Angela, it's interesting. You're our fourth Aquarian to call in this evening, and I just wanted to point out, Aquarians usually call in and listen. They usually don't ask their questions, do they, Angela? So for me to have all of you, well, maybe not all of you, but a lot of you Aquarians calling in and actually asking the question, that's major. You guys are maybe it's because that's on the ascendant in this chart. It's like you're saying, now I want to be seen, I want to be heard, I want my answers. So anyway, part of what you're getting is what I told all the Aquarians earlier, all the fixed sign people earlier, but also for you specifically, I think you're ready to come out and start demanding of the world a little bit that you are ready to be seen. Okay, you don't want to just stay in the background all the time anymore. You're ready to be seen. Here's the message from your guides, which I was kind of drawing as you called in. You have been feeling very, almost like you've been carrying too much to bear for a very long time. And that's produced, we talked about this earlier, a lot of fears. You've gone through a whole lot of loss. You've completely changed your ideas and your feelings about everything from death to holding on to people to letting yourself be controlled or needing to control other people or being responsible. You've gone through the whole gamut in your mind with a lot of different relationships you had difficulties with, but not just relationships, people's health problems, et cetera, et cetera. And for a long, long time, you felt like you were I don't know, the image I'm getting, let me share the image, not that this actually happened, but they're showing me this person in a swimming pool that's too deep to stand in, trying to save a drowning person by holding them on top of their head while that person's pushing you down. And that's the way your life has been for like 10 or 12 years. It's been for a long time. And what my guides are showing, you ready for this? Number one, your job is done. That's you're leaving the job. And
Which one?
And they're also showing this card, which is you alone. That's the Nine of Pentacles, if you want to look it up. You're alone. You're financially stable. You've got enough time and the love and enjoyment to spend time outside, to spend time with the family, to spend time with what you want to do, i.e., where your future is going, is that you're not going to be that person drowning because the people you're trying to help are pulling you down. And I think because you've learned, guess what? You've learned how to say no. You've learned how to face the reality of what you're capable of doing versus what you're not capable of doing. And you have, just like you did here tonight, you've learned to speak up and say, nope, I'm sorry, can't do that. I can do this, but not that. And give yourself credit for that. It's been a long journey, hasn't it?
Oh, God, yeah.
And
it has.
And your guides, I want you to know, your guides are all like, they're on the other side going, yay, you. That's a big lesson.
So I'm assuming the job that I'm leaving, that it would be, I'm working several different ones, but I'm assuming, God, I'm really hoping the apartment complex that I manage.
Not right now.
Yeah.
So I think the one you're leaving is a different one. Okay. But when I asked, will you ever be leaving? I don't know. They're not showing that. Okay. They're just not showing it. So you might leave it, but that's going to be at your own discretion. It's not like, wow, yeah, I see that ending. So it feels like it's one of your other jobs that's going.
Oh, I hope it's not real estate.
No, it's not your real estate either.
Okay, all right. As long as it's not that one,
Yeah.
I don't care which one.
No, it's not the real estate. But whatever it is you're leaving, it may be, and I don't know, are you leaving because you're promoted? It could very well be that you're leaving that position because you're moving into a different position.
Okay.
And I get that, it's going to be a hard choice, but you're going to go where the money is. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I want to thank you, everyone, for having been on this call to the end. You guys are just wonderful. And I want to remind you, put the Psychic Hour next month, September 6th, on your calendar. I'll be seeing you then. And if you didn't get a chance to ask your question, you have until 9 o'clock tomorrow night to get it to me. Thanks so much for being here. Namaste. I love you all.